Now you got 10 minutes left.
And I've got,
Now, how much more time do
my
you have?
car is getting a ticket as of about 5 minutes from now.
It's all right. Now you got to get to the Betsy part, which is the whole point of coming here today. So,
Oh, Betsy, yeah.
we got Betsy's father and mother going
how
here.
she came on
You were the
this-
first, then James. Betsy was the third. When was Betsy born?
I started out with that, gliding into, from 1941 to 42. December 41 was Pearl Harbor, December 7th. My sister was born on April 23rd, 1942, the next year. So things were happening.
Yeah.
Not only that, but my folks had saved up money during the 30s and had a new house built, brand new house. It was just completed right at about that same time frame. So that's what my mother had. She had...
So there was this investment in staying in and living in
Oh,
Toledo.
in Toledo. That was their plan, was to live in Toledo. That's where the whole family lived, and that's where they were planning to stay. And
But there's snow in Toledo.
but, huh?
There's snow. in
Oh, yeah,
Toledo.
of course. It's winter, but nobody ever talked about that other than the fun of, I remember building snow forts there, and I'm 7 to 8 years old, basically, before we left Toledo. And, what happened was the war got my father interested in doing some kind of war effort, and he signed up with the American Field Service.
Okay.
And that was a job that did social work for the military. So he was assigned to Alexandria, Virginia for a training course, leaving my mother with a new house, a new baby, 2 little kids, about 6 and 8 or 5 and 7 years old. So she was...
But this was the Army's doing. This was the Army that caused him to go to Virginia.
No, the thing is, he
volunteered,
wanted to do
they
something to
they
help the
sent
war
him.
effort, but he was 42 years old, and they weren't taking in recruits at 42. So his social work led him to the American American Red Cross. The American Red Cross had an established social work,
Right.
and they became Red Cross field directors. And that's what he became, a Red Cross field director. And they were based at military bases all over the country, in the world maybe.
Right.
And they helped soldiers and the soldiers and sailors and Marine families survive the stresses and problems that the military forced on them.
Right.
And as you can imagine, there were many different types.
A lot of dislocation, a lot of...
Soldiers not
loneliness.
coming back,
Yeah.
wounded, yeah. So that's what he did. And that lasted 3 years.
So 3 years in Alexandria, or did
No,
they send him
no,
out?
no. He came back after 3 or 4 months of the training.
Right.
And was stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Fort Knox was really a very short distance from Ohio. It's just across the river and down a little bit. And so he said, well, we'll live at Elizabethtown. Elizabethtown was the town where a good many of the military dependents lived. So he rented a house, three-bedroom house, older house, and said, come on down. Of course, they had to sell a brand new house that they had and go through a few other things, but they endured all that and moved down to a house that my mother had never seen. He rented a house without telling her what it looked like or anything. So I can remember there was a little bit of a feeling about that.
Elwood? What have you done, Elwood?
We moved in, and we lived there and went to 3rd grade at Elizabethtown Elementary School. My brother went to 1st grade. We moved in and spent the year there, just a year.
Right.
And then he got transferred to Lexington, Kentucky. Of course, Betsy's a baby this whole time.
Right.
Lexington in 1944, Elizabethtown, back to Elizabethtown in 1945.
Right.
And then the war ended in August 45. Okay,
Gotcha.
where do we go from there? That's a nice stopping point too. Betsy, again this time, was a baby.
So after half an hour, we've got Betsy born. We're making tremendous progress.
Betsy
here.
born and us to
Tremendous
Kentucky.
progress. Elizabethtown, Kentucky. All right. So we'll resume, I don't know, next week. You got those sirloin tips at Chicken Pot Pie Shop. You can
I
get the
got to
sirloin
get those
tips
in the
again over
refrigerator,
Wednesday.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to get my cheese in the refrigerator. All right, so we'll see you folks. Tune in next week.
Right.
Cheers.
Thank you, bud.
De nada.
Chance to